Hi students, welcome back. Now let's see another concept, that is how to read data from file using Java programming. So here we are using the concepts of streams, right? So here let's take, this is a file. This is a file abc.txt. Okay, the RAM device. So we are reading a file, read data from a file. So reading data from a file. So that data is stored in the RAM by using file input stream, right? So we are going to read the data from file by using file input stream. And that data, whatever we had read data from file, that has to be displayed on monitor, right? So that has to be displayed on monitor. So by using console output stream. So while we are working on these devices, RAM and monitor, console. So a data has to be displayed on monitor. Displayed means output stream. So this is a concept. This is a program. This task we are going to implement on program. Read data from a file and displaying on monitor. That is a concept. So how to read data from file? The steps you need to be considered is, first open a file for reading. So wherever the file is there, so first try to open a file for reading. Now, after opening, first find out the file size. Try to find out how much file size is. Okay. Open, find out the file size. So whatever the file size that we have found it, allocate memory in RAM. Suppose some space is there. Okay. Some 50 megabytes of data is there. So try to allocate memory in RAM according to the file size. Open a file for reading. First find out the size for the file size, and that size has to be allocated in memory, RAM memory. Okay. Now, okay, I open the file and I read the file size and allocates memory. Now it's time to read the data from file. Now try to read the data from file. Whenever you are reading the data, that data is going to be occupied in the RAM. Now that is going to be displayed on the monitor, and then close the file. So this is the concept. So for this concept, so what are the methods and the constructors that are required to write the program? Okay. So Java P. On the command prompt, use the profile Java P tool, java.io.FileInputStream. So for file input stream, I have taken the public file input stream. So here the string, what you need to mention here. Here you have to give the path of the file, where that file is present. Okay. We need to mention the path of the file. Throws file not found exception. So the exception that is occurred, if the file is present, then it will read. Suppose if the file, whatever you mentioned that URL, if the file is not there, then it throws a exception, file not found exception. So this method constructor opens a file for reading. The file input stream is used to open a file for reading. If the file exists, then only it opens a file for reading. Otherwise, it throws file not found exception. Now, method. So, for reading the file, what methods we need to require? Int read data. So, this is I already explained. So, for reading the data from keyboard or from file, we have to use the read method of array, byte of array. Throws IO exception. And another method, available, throws IO exception. This available is going to return the file size. That is what the step 2 I said. First try to open a file for reading. After that we need to find the file size by using the available method. Available method is used to find the file size. Okay. After performing reading everything, and we have to close the file by using the method void close throws IO exception. So whenever you have typed this command, so many methods and constructor will be appeared. So in that, whatever your requirement, those methods and constructors you need to be take. Okay. So now try to work on the program. So what is a program? Program to read data from a file. I want to read the data from a file. Okay. See here, the stepwise. We'll implement that steps. Whatever the steps that I have explained, we'll implement the steps, right? So import java.io.star. class sample. Class is loaded, open brace executed, main method is called. Now try block. So within the try, I am writing the task. First, what you have to do? Open a file for reading. For opening file, what command you are using? File input stream. So this is open a file for reading. I am just opening a file for reading. So file, I am calling the class file input stream. FIS is the object reference. New file input stream, whatever the arguments data that I am entering, so that has to be read. Open a file for reading. Second step, find out the file size. What method I need to use to find out the file size? Available. It is going to find out the file size. So whatever the file that is open for reading, so that I am checking available, FIS.available. So whatever the size that it is there, that is occupied into n, stored in n of integer type. Return type is integer. Okay, so that is of byte data. So what we are using this, we are allocating a memory in RAM according to the file size. Allocating the, okay, allocate memory in RAM according to the file size. So here n contains the file size, right? So for that we are allocating a memory of bytes. So that we are trying to read that file input stream dot read of bytes. So this is read the data from file. So this is read command is used to read data. Read data from file. Okay, up to here I had read the data. First open the file for reading. File input stream fi is equal to new file input stream augment 0. Now check the file size. How I am going to check the size? The whatever the opened file is there dot available. So some size will be displayed, right? So that size will be stored in n. Okay, that size has to be allocated in memory. So byte b is equal to array of memory is allocated in RAM of byte. RAM stores the data in the form of a bytes. You all know that. Okay, RAM stores the data in the form of a bytes. So array of bytes will be stored. Whatever the file size is there, that memory is allocated. Now in that memory we are trying to read the data where, which is opened file input stream. We are reading the data. Okay, so now next what I am doing is, whatever the byte that I am reading, so the arguments that is of string type, right? So this b is converted into string type. String s is equal to new string of b, because whatever the arguments we are calling, that is of string type, but whatever the memory that we are using here of byte type, so convert into string. How? String s is equal to new string, and try to print that string. And after performing all these tasks, we have to close that file. We have to close the file by using file input stream dot close. So the close is used to close the method operation. So if any exception is occurred, then the controller will come to the catch block and prints file not found exception. File not found exception. Okay, so instead of this FIS close, you can write the finally block also. So instead of writing here, after the catch is error is also occurred, you can write here finally block. Finally, try file input stream dot close. After closing the file, catch exception. If any exception is occurred, try to exception. Okay, system dot out error dot println e. Okay, you can insert the file finally block also. Okay, so this is how to read the data from file using the Java programming. Just simply follow the steps. Open the file for reading we are using file input stream command. After that, find out the file size. How you are going to find out the file size? By using dot available. Okay, whatever the file that we had opened, that by using fis.available. That will be stored in an integer. Okay. So now allocate the memory in RAM according to the file size. How you are going to allocate? So memory size, RAM size is of bytes, stored in bytes. So that whatever you had done, that new byte of n will be copied into B. Okay. So then whatever the B, that is of bytes, but our arguments is of string type. So you are going to convert that into strings by using string s is equal to new string of B. Then try to print that string and then close the file. Okay. So this is how to read the data from file. This program can be reduced by using try with resource statement. So that try with resource statement, how to use and how can I reduce my length of the program length, that I can explain in the next video. The same program I will take and I will explain try with resource statement. So students, try to implement this program on IDE or Notepad wherever you requirement. So you can try this program and try to execute it. Okay. So if you want to reduce the code of this, then try to watch the next video and implement that program on IDE or Notepad. Thank you.